Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Our Animal Planet unit will continue now. Remember, we're talking about a program on Animal Planet entitled Wild Ones. Now, of course, we're talking about how these animals adapt to different environments. And last time we were talking about Australia. Australia is really unique because it has some animals that you're not going to find in other parts of the world. We were talking specifically about the koala and the kangaroo, okay?
Yeah, they're kind of a fun animal. They're one of my favorites because they're so weird. Look up some videos of those animals just to see what they can do. It's not fair because Australia has most of the kangaroos except for zoos. But yeah, luckily we have some zoos. Today we're going to talk about some more animals. The first one we're going to focus on is, of course, the platypus, which is also kind of a weird animal, I must say, but very interesting. And then we'll go to North America and look at some of the animals or insects there. And then finally, we're going to visit Africa. So get ready. We're going to do a lot of traveling in this particular unit. Right now, though, as we always do, we're going to read through today's lesson. Another curious creature native to Australia is the platypus, a monotreme mammal. Platypuses are one of just 2 mammals that lay eggs instead of giving birth to live young. The platypus is known for its unusual appearance, including its duck-like bill, beaver-like tail, and webbed feet. In fact, the first scientists to lay eyes on a preserved platypus specimen in 1799 determined it to be a fake, made from various animal parts sewn together. Platypuses spend most of their waking hours swimming in rivers in search of food. They look cute, but be warned, male platypuses can incapacitate humans with their venom. Wild One's next journeys to North America, where viewers can get up close and personal with the magnificent monarch butterfly. These unmistakable orange and black butterflies can be seen taking to the skies twice a year. Mass migrations of monarchs take place in the fall, when they travel 4,000 kilometers from the northern U.S. and Canada to warmer climates down south, and in the spring, when the next generations return north. Monarchs are the only butterflies known to undertake such an imposing journey. Remarkably, no single monarch makes the trip both ways, yet each one instinctively knows which route to take. Finally, the show ends up in the savannas of Africa, where the mighty lion reigns supreme. These ferocious creatures live in prides and hunt together, led by lionesses. They prefer large prey, such as zebras and buffaloes, as they often have to feed 15 to 20 lions at a time. Lions are apex predators, meaning they have no natural predators, but they are known to violently attack each other to defend their territory and food. For more fascinating facts like these, tune in to Wild Ones on Animal Planet this April.
Okay, everybody, let's get into it. Let's discuss the contents of today's lesson. Remember, we're talking about creatures in Australia. Last time we talked about the koala and the kangaroo. Well, another curious creature native to Australia is the platypus, a monotreme mammal. Okay, so that's what a platypus is. I think there's a platypus in an old Disney TV show, a Disney cartoon show called Phineas and Ferb. Maybe you saw that before.
I've never even heard of that
I think it's probably off the air now, but there was a character in that program that was actually a platypus. Well, a platypus is a mammal, but in this particular case, it's a monotreme mammal. And, of course, before I was given this script for today's lesson, I had never heard of the word monotreme. So if you're really into animals, mammals, you might want to spend some time learning this word. It's a kind of mammal that lays eggs. And it's got an opening for urogenital and digestive systems, just in case you wanted to know. But like I said, I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about this word. But it is a mammal, and platypuses are one of just 2 mammals that lay eggs instead of giving birth to live young. Remember, we talked about the mammals, the koala and the kangaroo. They give birth to live young that are not fully developed, so they have to live in the mother's pouch. But platypuses are an exception. They're still mammals, but they actually lay eggs. Technically, mammals aren't supposed to lay eggs. They're supposed to give birth to live young, but for some reason, platypuses can lay eggs and still be mammals.
Now, the platypus is known for its unusual appearance. It really does look odd, I must say. I liked this animal when I was a kid. I thought it looked so cute. It's got a duck-like bill. So think of a duck, how it has that kind of round bill in front of its face, right? And it's got a beaver-like tail. When you add that hyphen-like, it means it looks like that particular thing. So its bill looks like the duck's bill. Its tail looks like a beaver's tail. And it also has webbed feet like a duck because it spends a lot of its time in the water. And some of those water animals have perfect bodies to go swimming with. And that it happens to be true of the platypus. It was given webbed feet, so it can just, go and move through the water pretty easily. This is a really funny story I've never heard before, but long ago, the first scientists to ever see a platypus, it was a preserved platypus, meaning someone had killed this platypus and maybe stuffed it, and it looked like a stuffed animal instead of a real animal. But it was a real dead animal that had been preserved. If you preserve something, you make it so it looks like it's new. It doesn't look bad. You can preserve lots of things. You can preserve fruit. By picking fruit, fruit doesn't last forever. So if you want to preserve it, you bottle it, right? You bottle it so that months from the time that you first harvested that fruit, you can still eat it. Well, you can preserve these animals by stuffing them. So the first time scientists actually saw this particular preserved platypus, they honestly thought it was a fake, that it wasn't real.
Yeah, they thought it was kind of a Frankenstein's monster or something like that with all these different body parts put together. So they laid eyes on this preserved specimen way back in 1799. They saw it and they determined or they concluded that it was a fake. There's no such animal like that. That's ridiculous. What kind of animal wants to go through its life looking like that? They would all commit suicide. It's ridiculous.
So
they thought it was just assembled from different animal parts and they were all sewn together. Well, that's not true, of course. Platypuses are real and they spend most of their waking hours swimming in rivers in search of food. So again, this is a unique creature to Australia and they live in rivers for the most part and they're always looking for food. Now, they look cute, but be warned, male platypuses can incapacitate humans with their venom. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. So I guess if we see the word venom there, we know that these animals are poisonous.
Yeah.
Like a lot of snakes in Taiwan, they are poisonous. And the liquid that comes out of snakes that goes into your body if the snake bites you, that is called venom. It's another word for poison, but venom specifically refers to a poisonous substance that comes from an animal that is meant to fight an enemy. Again, we could say venomous snakes or poisonous snakes. It's the same thing. So I guess platypuses are kind of dangerous, so don't get too near them if it's breeding season, for example, or if it's a mother protecting its young or something, because they can incapacitate you, which is a special kind of word. It just means to kind of make you be paralyzed or something like that.
Yeah, you can't move. I would imagine he puts his venom into you and you're in the water and you were maybe swimming earlier, if you're suddenly paralyzed by that poison, you're going to drown. So I don't know if they could kill you by doing anything else, but that's scary. So be careful. They may look fun, but they can hurt humans, especially if they're scared. They're going to protect themselves.
Yep, and we're going to move on to some other countries here, but what I wanted to mention about Australia that they haven't mentioned here, one of my favorite animals, which I haven't actually seen, is called the lyrebird, which is from Australia. It's a bird that can mimic almost any sound imaginable. Check out some of the YouTube videos on the lyrebird, L-Y-R-E-B-I-R-D, and these birds can sound like anything. They can sound like a camera shutter or a chainsaw or even human beings. It's quite cool. So that goes to prove that Australia is home to very unique wildlife. Better yet, buy a plane ticket there, fly there, and check out the place yourself if you have time and if you have money. Okay, I think that's enough for the first part of our lesson for today. Let's take a break right now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 继昨天看完袋鼠跟无尾熊之后，今天要看的是鸭嘴兽。首先来看到第一段的第3个句子写着 The platypus is known for its unusual appearance, including its duck-like bill, beaver-like tail, and webbed feet. 在这里提到鸭嘴兽非常独特的外表，那么它有怎么样呢？ Duck-like bill 有像鸭子一般的喙， beaver-like tail 像海狸一般的尾巴，还有一个有蹼的脚掌，我们叫做 webbed feet. In fact, the first scientists to lay eyes on a preserved platypus specimen in 1799 determined it to be a fake made from various animal parts sewn together. 非常有趣的是呢，第一批看到这个呢，是被保存的鸭嘴兽标本的科学家则 determined 在这里是有判决裁定的意思，他们觉得那是一个用不同动物部位缝在一起的假造品。我们来看一下在这里的片语 lay eyes on 也就是有看到的意思， lay 本身就是有放置的意思。A preserved 在这里呢是 VPP 表被动，原本 preserve 可以指的呢是把食物保鲜或者是标本防腐，而这样子的 preserved platypus specimen 指的呢就是被保存起来的鸭嘴兽标本。所以这样看起来呢，会觉得它是一个 fake， 是一个假造品。后面的 made VPP 表被动是来自于呢不同动物的部分，把它组合在一起 sewn together。 sewn 呢则是有缝的过去分词，那么在这里也是表被动的意思。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about wonders of the wild world. We're actually talking about a show on Animal Planet called Wild Ones and some of the adaptations that animals have gone through to survive out there in the wild. We last talked about the platypus and some of its features, which are kind of crazy. He looks like an animal that has different parts of different animals just kind of thrown together, like the duckbill, the beaver tail, and he's got webbed feet. But be careful. They look fun. They look kind of funny, actually, but they do have venom, and they can incapacitate humans, meaning they can put that venom into you so that you can no longer move. So be careful. Wild ones in the next paragraph. Next journeys to North America. North America would include Canada and America. Viewers can get up close and personal with the magnificent monarch butterfly, which is quite beautiful. It's orange and black. Now, if you get up close and personal with something, it means you're right there live next to that thing that you're looking at. It doesn't have to be an animal. It could be anything. If something's magnificent, I like to think of castles and palaces when I see this word magnificent. Just means extremely beautiful, very impressive. It could be because it's very big or maybe just because it's quite beautiful and elaborate.
Yep, the magnificent mountains of the Central Mountain Range here in Taiwan, for example. Well, this is the magnificent monarch butterfly. You've probably seen pictures of them. They're orange and black in color with all these different colored spots. Monarch, of course, is like a king or an emperor, hence the name monarch butterfly. And these unmistakable orange and black butterflies can be seen taking to the skies twice a year. So they're unmistakably orange and black, which means, of course, they're orange. Of course, they're black. It's very clear. It's very obvious. That's what unmistakable means. It's something you cannot argue against. It's so obvious.
Yeah.
And they take to the skies 2 times a year, which means they start flying. They fly up into the air, and mass migrations of monarch butterflies take place in the fall when they travel 4,000 kilometers from the northern U.S. and Canada to warmer climates down south, okay, which would be down in Mexico, in Michoacan, I believe, the state of Michoacan. But in any case, we're talking about migrations. That's the noun form of the verb to migrate. To migrate means an animal, usually a bird, or in this case, a butterfly, flies from some part of the world to another, usually to get away from the cold weather. So these are mass migrations of monarchs. Of course, they fly from North America down into Mexico, although Mexico is also part of North America. And these migrations take place in the fall. Take place here just means to happen. They occur in the autumn, in the fall. They fly a long way, 4,000 kilometers from the northern U.S. and Canada to Michoacan in Mexico because it's nice and warm there. And then later on, the next generations return north in the spring when it's getting a little bit too hot down there in Mexico, and they want to go back up to North America or Canada or wherever, where temperatures are a little more mild.
I was going to say, I wish I could do that. There are people who act like animals sometimes. Arizona, the state that I grew up in, has very mild winters and very hot summers. And we have a lot of this kind of thing that happens. We call these people who come to Arizona in the winter snowbirds because they only stay there for the winter and then they leave when the sun makes it too hot in Arizona. Those are kind of migrations as well. We hate the snowbirds in Arizona, though, I have to tell you.
Might be different, though, with them because the monarch butterflies fly south, and I think they actually die before they fly back.
True,
and
they never return, do
they?
They
give birth down there in Mexico.
Their
and then
posterity comes back.
That's right. The next generations fly back north. So imagine snowbirds having babies down in Arizona, and then all those snowbirds die, and their children move back north. That doesn't happen that way, but in any case, that is what happens with monarch butterflies. And monarchs are the only butterflies known to undertake such an imposing journey. There is a species of butterfly here in Taiwan that flies down south somewhere. We've talked about it before. I think they're purple or something. Excuse me, I forgot what they're called. And that is an impressive journey, but this is a huge journey here, 4,000 kilometers. So it's the only species of butterfly known to undertake such an imposing journey. To undertake means you basically start doing something that is very, very difficult.
Yeah, you commit yourself to doing something and you begin it, right? So sometimes it's difficult. This, I can't imagine that butterflies could fly so far. That is not a short journey. 4,000 kilometers is kind of crazy. It's an imposing journey. If something's imposing, it kind of scares you. We'll often use this to talk about someone who has an imposing figure. Ooh, look at that guy over there. He looks very imposing. Maybe he's quite tall, very muscular, kind of looks like he could hurt you. Now, remarkably, something that's quite surprising that you want to actually remark on it is that no single monarch makes the trip both ways. We just mentioned this when Tom was saying that, those butterflies do fly south, but they never do return north. Their posterity does, which means the little butterflies that follow them. Yeah.
Right, but it's interesting because it's only a one-way trip, but somehow the ones going back up instinctively know which route to take. Instinctively means they've kind of got this ability built in. It's instincts, we talk about different animals like spiders, for example, know how to make webs by instinct, or cats know how to lick themselves and give themselves bath by instinct.
True.
Nobody really teaches them to do that. They just do it naturally.
No, and my nephew was just telling me his dog, who he never trained to do this, he gave him a bone, and his dog took the bone and buried it outside without anyone teaching him to do it. Yeah, it was in his genes.
That's instinct, or the dog instinctively knows to bury that bone and save it for later.
Yeah.
So that's quite fascinating here. And finally, the show ends up in the savannas of Africa. Okay, so we're going from North America to Africa now, and we are in the savannas there. The word savanna is most often used to describe Africa, which is a grassy plain, and there aren't a lot of trees there. I suppose you could say there are other parts of the world that have savannas, but when I see the word savanna, I mostly think of those grasslands in Africa.
Me too. That's where the mighty lion reigns supreme. To reign means you rule over something. Usually we use reign to talk about a king or a queen reigning over the people of their country. So they're holding office, they're ruling as some sort of monarch or king or queen. But the lion is king of the jungle. Everybody knows that. That's what we call them. They are the most powerful animal out of all the animals there. So to reign supreme means you are number one. Supreme is the best you can get. Supreme means highest in rank or authority, or very great, or the greatest. To give a supreme effort at something you do means you do your best, the best job you absolutely can. Now, how do we describe lions? They're ferocious, they're scary, they'll rip you to pieces if they get a chance, so stay away from those lions. They're very fierce, cruel, and violent. That's ferocious. They live in prides. Pride is a word that measures a group of animals, lions in particular. So instead of a flock of birds, we use flock with birds, we use pride of lions. They hunt together, and the men don't lead the group. The lady lions that are called lionesses do.
Right, lioness. Okay, that means a female lion, and they prefer large prey, such as zebras and buffaloes, as they often have to feed 15 to 20 lions at a time. So they don't bother chasing after squirrels or chipmunks or rabbits or something like that. That's small fry. They prefer large prey. Prey, of course, is the animal that is hunted by a predator.
Yeah.
Prey. You can say prey on as a verb. Lions prey on zebras, for example, or zebras are the prey of lions. So indeed, they attack and kill zebras and buffaloes because those are big animals with lots of meat there, lots of steak and burgers and stuff like that. So
they eat them.
They chomp them down, and 15 to 20 lions can have a meal on one zebra or on one buffalo at a time, each time.
So lions are apex predators. They're at the top of the food chain, you could say. That's apex, is the peak of something. And so they have no natural predators. Nobody hunts lions, except humans, I guess. But they are known to violently attack each other to defend their territory and food. They will fight each other to the death. So for more fascinating facts like these, you've got to tune in to the show Wild Ones that's on Animal Planet this April. Right now, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
接着我们来看到第二段 Wild Ones Next Journeys to North America, where viewers can get up close and personal with the magnificent monarch butterfly. 在这里提到呢，它的下一站要旅行到北美洲，我们要特别注意这里的 where 是代表地方副词有关系代名词的用法。那么在北美洲呢，观众可以近距离的看到华丽的帝王斑蝶。Magnificent 则是有壮观的宏伟的意思，你也可以把它用来形容是一次很出色的表演，你就可以说 a magnificent performance。在这里看得到的呢，是这些帝王斑蝶的大迁徙。第二段中间的句子提到 Mass migration of monarchs take place in the fall when they travel 4,000 kilometers from the northern US and Canada to warmer climates down south.And in the spring, when the next generations return north. 在这里的 migration 就是有迁居跟迁徙的意思，它的动词 migrate M-I-G-R-A-T-E 可以用来指人类的迁徙，也可以指鸟类的迁徙。而这些大批的帝王斑蝶呢，它的大迁徙 take place 则是有发生的意思，会发生在秋天。这里要请同学特别注意一下，这里的 when 在这个时间，它又是一个代表时间的关系副词。在秋天的时候呢，他们会从美国的北部及加拿大旅行4000公里到比较温暖的南方。And in the spring 到了春天，再一个 when 的关系副词，春天的时候下一代又会往北飞回来。接着我们来看到最后一段，我们来看的是 Finally, the show ends up in the savannas of Africa, where the mighty lion reigns supreme.一样要请同学特别注意的是，在 Africa 后面的 where 是代表地方的关系副词，在非洲这个 savannas 也就是呢稀树草原上呢，你会看到强而有力的狮子称霸在此。我们首先看到的是 reign 这个字呢，本来指的是君主的统治，也有支配跟占优势的意思。而 supreme 呢，本来是形容词最强的，两个字搭配在一起 reign supreme 就是有具主宰地位跟独占鳌头的意思。接着我们来看到倒数第二个句子， Lions are apex predators, meaning they have no natural predators, but they are known to violently attack each other to defend their territory and food.在这里的 apex 本来指的是三角形的顶点，也就是有顶峰的意思。狮子呢是顶级的掠食者，那它的意思呢就代表他们没有 natural predators， 没有天敌，所以他们会残暴的互相攻击，来捍卫自己的 territory地盘以及它的食物。在这里面的片语 be known to 则是有众所周知的意思。OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. So that's it for us. The rest is up to you. You've got to pick up that remote and tune in to Wild Ones on Animal Planet and learn about these fascinating creatures yourself. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.